Everybody's a slave to something, whether it's work, their thoughts, everybody is a slave to something, whether they know it or not, or want to admit it or not. This is just the reality. And I would say mainly here in the West, most people I would say are a slave to money, and without even realizing it, right? I mean, being a slave to money is, unfortunately, like, it makes sense, especially with what the fuck is going on, recently, but because, things are so expensive, it's hard to afford anything. Like, dude, I'm pretty sure the average age to buy a house is 39 now, bro. Like, you're like UNC status. If you want to buy a house, you literally have to be UNC, like certified UNC, bro. Like, if you're 25, you're cooked, bro, which is crazy because, like, my parents and their parents and the boomers literally bought a house for a kiss and a bag of chips. Like, that's crazy. But like, yeah, like, being a slave to money, whether you admit it or not, it makes sense. It makes sense why people are a slave to money. But the reason why I want to talk about money and why people are enslaved to money is because of a little conversation I had the other day. And I'm not trying to say, and that is one thing I've realized, I've tried to, like, realize within the last couple months, money isn't a great indicator on whether or not you're successful or not. Dude, so many billionaires and millionaires are just depressed and can't live a normal life because of how much money they have. But I was having a conversation the other day in my house, and I don't exactly remember how the conversation came up, but my brother was saying, oh yeah, like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, new ways to make money. And I was like, oh yeah, dude, that's fucking sick. He works at, like, a normal 9-to-5 job, but he's trying to branch out and he's trying to make more money online. Good for him. I think everybody should be doing that. I mean, you kind of fucking have to if you want to afford shit nowadays. But his girl was like, yeah, like, I just wish we had more money. Like, if we had more money, like, we can actually, like, live our life and our life would really start. And, normally when people say shit like this, I'm not gonna, like, pull out, like, I'm not gonna pull out my philosophy shit and that goes on in my head, right? And by the way, I'm no fucking, like, perfect philosopher. I'm not, like, trying to come at you like I'm Socrates or anything. But I usually wouldn't say anything, but I basically said, I was like, yeah, but, like, life doesn't start when you have a lot of money. Life starts when you're born. And my cousin was also there too, listening to the conversation, and both my brother's girlfriend and my cousin, like, rolled their eyes at me, and they're like, oh yeah. And like, that's why I'm making this video, because, like, that conversation made me realize that people are genuinely enslaved to money, having more money. And when is it enough? That's the question, right? When is it enough? Is it enough when you can actually, like, afford things, when you can buy whatever you want? And like I said earlier, I personally don't think money is a great indicator on whether or not you're successful. If you want to be successful, in my mind, obviously, like, I'm just, like, some random dude, right? But if you want to be successful, like, you should educate yourself, right? You should become more fluent in knowledge. I don't think money is a great indicator. Because you're going to live your life waking up each day like, oh my God, and I have to go to work. Oh my God, I have to make this much money. Oh my God. Instead of thinking like that, where you're constantly worried how much money you have, how to make more money, you wake up every day worrying about a fake dollar sign in your bank account, which isn't even real, by the way, which is crazy. You can go to the bank and try to withdraw all your money and they're going to probably say no, which is crazy, right? It's all fake, bro. It's all just a fake system to make you a good little sheep so you conform and do and do what you're supposed to do, go to work, pay your taxes, and die. That's all it is, bro. Like, the money enslavement, it never ends, no matter how much money you have, bro. Money is like the #1 slave master nowadays, bro. Like, back in the day, we had actual slaves. Well, nowadays, we do still have slaves, and the master is money, okay? And if you're a slave to money, you're gonna constantly worrying about your life, whether or not you have more money or not. And usually that's, like, the #1 thing you bring up in conversation, right? If you haven't seen one of your friends or one of your family members in a long time, the first thing they ask, right, is, what are you doing? How much money are you making? That's how we're starting our conversations, is how much money I'm making based on my job. Like, I think that is so low IQ, so low. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me. Like, the first thing you say is, like, what are you doing now? What's your job? Like, how much money are you making? Like, does that decide whether or not I'm of worth? How much money I'm making? Does that decide how successful I am? I suppose how much money you're making is some form of measurement of success, but would you rather be rich and depressed, or having enough money to get by and actually live a happy life? I would rather live the latter. That's what I'm trying to like really like rewire my brain on, is as long as I'm able to pay my bills and buy a couple extra things, like, you know, play some fucking video games or read some new books, I'm good, bro. Like, I'm good to go. I don't need all this excess shit. To live a good life, you don't need $1 million in your bank account. Your life doesn't start when you have $1 million in your bank account. Your life starts when you're born, bro. And the sooner people realize this, the sooner I think better off for our society. Like, I don't make a lot of money, but I make enough to get by, and I'm so content with that, bro. And I guess you can say that's like lazy, and you like, that's kind of like doomer, I guess, maybe, or like you're just giving up. But I don't really think so. I mean, I think hustle culture kind of changed that as well. Like, where you need to literally keep grinding until you die. Like, that, low-key, I'm not gonna lie, that might be another video in itself, but hustle culture might genuinely be a psyop, bro. Like, in my first video, I think, like, when I was talking about reading is cool, bro, how like the CIA said, oh yeah, reading isn't cool, it's for nerds. And basically made people dumb, by the way. That made people dumb. That's a psyop. Genuinely, hustle culture might be a psyop too, because you're literally like working yourselves 18 hours a day just for your side hustle, ultimately for you to die. Like, how much money you have in your bank account isn't gonna mean jack shit when you die. You know what's gonna matter when you die is your actions, your thoughts, the relationships you had with people, and how those flourished through time. Money, your money's not gonna die with you, bro. And I think that's one of the things that really helped me rewire my brain, is all this like stuff, all this materialistic shit that we own, especially in the current economy that we live in, bro. Everything's so materialistic. Oh, I need more, I need this. Oh, I need the new iPhone, I need the new thing. None of that shit is gonna be with you when you die, bro. It doesn't matter. It's all just stuff, it's things. It's honestly worthless. It's really worthless. To me, what's more important is how I live my life, and educating myself on how to become a better person. Because if you have these grand goals that maybe you might hit one day, but most likely not, once you hit that goal, you're not even gonna be content, bro. Like, you're gonna be like, oh, like that's it, this is it. For example, my main YouTube channel, my entire life, I was like, oh my God, like, I'm never gonna hit 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Eventually, one day I did, and I literally remember I live streamed it. And I was like, oh, like, I can't wait until one day I hit 100,000 subscribers, you know, I'm gonna get a YouTube plaque. And as a kid, I was like, oh, that's never gonna happen. And then the day came and I hit the 100,000 mark, and I felt the same. I didn't feel any different. There was nothing special that happened. The number turned over, bro, and it's all fake. And that kind of is similar with money. No matter how much money you have, it's not gonna change your mood and your attitude. What will change your mood and your attitude in your life is educating yourself and rewiring your brain on how to actually live a good and proper life. Like, every person I know is constantly after more and more money. And I get it, you know, like, dude, we live in a shitty fucking time where things just aren't affordable, or you can't even like get gas anymore, bro. Like, it literally costs $80 to $90 to fill up your fucking tank, bro. That shit's wild. But like I said earlier, I just find it crazy how the first thing people bring up in conversation, if you haven't seen them in a long time, is what you're doing, how much money you're making. Is it good? Like, are you making enough money to get by? Having more materials isn't a great measurement of success. Personally, I'm religious, so I mean, you can take this with a grain of salt if you're not. But I know a lot of people who aren't necessarily religious, but also believe in the soul. And I think at the end of the day, when you die, you're not gonna bring money. You're not gonna bring all the material shit that you purchased through your life with you. What you're gonna bring with you is your soul, and how well and how good you did. And your soul reflects that. If you were a good person in your life and you did good deeds, and you know truly what you did and how you live your life was good, I think ultimately that's better than dying with $1 billion in my bank account. Now, I'm not saying you should just, you know, accept your situation. Like, if you're absolutely broke, bro, you need to go get more money. You got to get your bread up. But I just don't think, like, you need to be enslaved to money and constantly worry about it. And instead, like, you're in a situation you're already in, especially if you're broke. You're in a situation you're already in. And is worrying about your current situation gonna improve your situation at all? No, probably not. Worrying about your situation never improves the situation. So if you have the power to change what situation you're in, then don't worry about it and act. And if you don't have the power to alter the situation you're in, then why worry about it? You literally it's out of your control. And that's, you know, something that, you know, the GOAT Marcus Aurelius was saying in Meditations in his book. Gosh, y'all should go read it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, y'all. reading isn't for nerds. Unfortunately though, I do think as time goes on, I think enslavement to money is just gonna become more and more rampant just because of how expensive things get. And that's why I'm like a really big proponent on like educating yourself in your mind. And I guess a lot of people, maybe I should make a follow-up video on like what I mean by like educating yourself. It's not like going to school or like learning 1 + 1, go get a college degree. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm more talking about like searching for and learning and educating yourself on personal freedom. Because if you're able to free your mind of all negative thoughts and anything that's restricting your mind, to me, that's better than having $1 million in my bank account. Because money comes and goes throughout your life. Like, you're gonna spend it and it's not gonna always be there. And you're not even gonna die with it. It's not gonna be buried with you. But what's gonna go with you throughout your entire life is the things you learn and how you look at life. So I would say, obviously, you know, if you have a side hustle on top of your job, obviously you got to keep pursuing it, bro, because like it's tough out here. The streets are just tough to live in, bro. We can't even afford rent and food. Like, if I want to go to McDonald's, which by the way, fuck McDonald's for being so expensive, fuck you. I'm literally gonna have to chop off a leg just to go eat at McDonald's, bro, which is crazy. But I would say, you know, don't constantly grind like 12, 14, 15 hours a day. You know, go to work, do your side hustle for a couple hours, and just try to like take a step back and actually like enjoy what you have and appreciate what you have. Because, you know, there's some people out there that don't have the shit you have. And that's another thing that I've really like realized lately. And a lot of people say, oh my God, like you should like appreciate what you have. Some other people don't have what you have. And I get that. Like, I never really understood that until recently. Like, genuinely, bro, like I literally spawned in the greatest spawn point of all time, bro. Like, I could have spawned in at anywhere on the planet, but I spawned in the United States at the current time. Because if you go back 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, I know it may not seem like it, but things are better off than they were back then. So I literally spawned in at the greatest time. I know it doesn't seem like it. You know, we're on the verge of, you know, World War III and everything being actually like stupidly expensive. But, you know, if you do go back in time, bro, the average life expectancy, they weren't making it past 30, bro. They were not making it past 30. They were starving, okay? They were starving to death. Me, I spawned in. I literally hit the jackpot in my spawn. So this video is mainly about the enslavement of money and how people are like enslaved to money, but it could be anything, right? It could be your job. It could be how people judge you. It could be, you know, people pleasing. It could be anything. Everybody's a slave to something, even me. So I would implore you, you know, take a step back and find out what is constantly running through your head every single day. Try to figure it out. Take a step back and try to break free from the shackles, bro. Like, try to get off the plantation or something, dude, because it's sad to, you know, live your life enslaved to something. And even when you finally meet that goal, whatever goal that is, you're still not gonna be satisfied, and you never will be. But guys, that's it. I'll be making another video when I think of another topic. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I love you guys. Goodbye.